What was Solid Snake doing during retirement? Welcome back, fam. Today we're going to be diving deeper into Snake's retirement, Solid Snake's retirement. No other snake has ever retired that I know of. Unless you count death as a retirement, which is a little morbid. So let's get into things. Speaking of Solid Snake's retirement, did you think Snake's retirement would be all adorable huskies and thrilling sled dog races? I know I did. It's not. It's hard and sad and not at all what I wanted or expected, and now I'm dragging you on this journey with me.
What?
Snake attempted to retire twice, both attempts mired with a battle with PTSD and his second attempt hosting an additional guest, alcoholism. Betrayed by Foxhound's leader, Big Boss, Solid Snake departs from the unit in 1995 after successfully thwarting his plans in Outer Heaven and destroying Metal Gear. Snake goes on to work for the CIA for 6 months, but finds the work dissatisfying and departs from them as well to instead work as a mercenary for hire, and after earning enough money there, he goes into semi-retirement in the Canadian wilderness. For the life of me, I cannot find out what semi-retirement means for Snake. Normally that imply he was doing some kind of work, but I can't find anything that specifies what that work was. Maybe he was still working part-time as a mercenary, I don't know. While in the Canadian wilderness, Snake grapples with PTSD from his time in Outer Heaven and his conflict with Big Boss. Operation Intrude N313 was Snake's first field mission, and the commander that put him on that mission also immediately betrays him and reveals that he'd been using him to spread false information. Snake rejects everything about Big Boss, including everything he learned from him, abandoning CQC.
Never felt right using a technique learned from a man who betrayed his unit. The war criminal, reinvented as a hero.
Big Boss's exploits as a Cold War secret agent back in the 60s have made him a legend.
The less people know about the truth, the more they can fantasize.
Snake's alone time is interrupted, however, when Zanzibar Land, a new and highly militarized nation, kidnaps Dr. Marv and begins development on a new Metal Gear. Snake agrees to infiltrate Zanzibar Land, if only to make the nightmares of the past 3 years stop. At the end of his mission, Snake is once again confronted with Big Boss, who delivers a very bleak premonition. He tells Snake that whoever survives their battle is destined to live out life on the battlefield, though Snake heartily disagrees and firmly tells Big Boss that unlike him, he loves life. After the conflict in Zanzibar Land is resolved, there's some hope that Snake has been able to reconnect with the people around him and has perhaps dealt with a few of the demons plaguing him as he'd hoped to do, as he agrees to have a Christmas dinner with Holly. This is dashed, however, when Snake instead stands Holly up and disappears. He re-enters retirement, though this time in Twin Lakes, Alaska, where he builds a 2-floor cabin for himself and focuses his time and energy on dog sledding.
There's a dog sled race this week.
Snake has 50 huskies he takes care of, and he even competes in the Iditarod.
Right now, my 50 huskies are my only family. I've got to take care of them.
The Iditarod is highly competitive and tests the best dog sledders as it takes place over the course of 8 to 15 days, or more, and covers the distance between Anchorage to Nome. Teams can expect blizzards, whiteouts, and wind chill that reaches negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit. If we could just leave it there and talk about Snake raising puppies for racing, that would be great. But unfortunately, he's still grappling with PTSD from his previous military experiences and heavy alcoholism as he tries to find a way to cope. Snake remains in great physical shape, though its leader revealed he wants to cut his hair before his mission in Metal Gear Solid, so as not to be mistaken with Liquid.
I need to borrow your scissors.
What are you going to do?
Don't worry, just gonna clean myself up a little.
Huh?
I don't want to be mistaken for the leader of the terrorists.
This may imply that though he's keeping up military workout habits, he may have let his personal hygiene slip. which is a symptom of depression, PTSD, and alcoholism. We can actually see an unkempt Snake in Ghost Babel. Kaz also retired to Twin Lakes, Alaska, though Snake was unaware of this as the two hadn't kept in touch. Clearly the two were close and respected each other, so the fact that they withdrew from one another is concerning and speaks to the state of both of their mental health. Here's where we have a split in the timeline. Canonically, Metal Gear Solid interrupts Snake's second attempt at retirement, but let's take a quick pit stop in MGS Ghost Babel first. Ghost Babel isn't canon, and it's said to have taken place 7 years after the events in the original Metal Gear. In Ghost Babel, Campbell interrupts Snake's retirement to convince him to help take down yet another Metal Gear. Snake agrees, though only to face his past, as the Colonel suggests, as the Metal Gear is stationed where Outer Heaven used to be. Ghost Babel sheds some light on how Snake felt about Alaska, saying that Alaska's quiet and his life is good. Campbell also comments on Snake being a hermit, further enforcing the idea that Snake has isolated himself not only from the people he knew, but from the local populace as well. He isn't keeping friends, nor is he looking to make new ones. At the end of Ghost Babel, Snake admits that he'd agreed to this mission as he was looking for a way to die, though at the end of it all, he decides that he'd rather live and that life was worth living even if it was hard or hurt. He resolves to go to the US to hunt down the people behind the Ghost Babel mission that put himself and Campbell in danger and eliminate them. He intends to return to Chris once he's finished with them to assumedly resume his retirement with her. As mentioned before, Ghost Babel isn't canon, so we can either assume Snake did as implied and returned to Chris, or, more likely as Metal Gear Solid comes after Ghost Babel, Snake disappeared on Chris to resume his retirement in Alaska. Catching up to the events of Metal Gear Solid, Snake is once again interrupted by the Colonel, who ropes him into another Metal Gear adventure. In MGS The Twin Snakes, Campbell tries to do this through blackmail, as he brings up the fact that Snake had committed several acts of misconduct during his career in the military and could potentially be made to serve a long prison sentence should these crimes be persecuted.
Oh, I see. Blackmail.
Such a great friend! Snake agrees to step out of retirement once again and goes after Foxhound's new commander, Liquid. After Liquid and his outfit are dealt with, Snake is once again left used, betrayed, and tossed away. Similar to Big Boss back during his first mission, the government schemed to use Snake as a means to their own ends, infecting him with fox dye without his consent before sending him on his mission. Instead of trying to find another remote part of the world to retire in, however, Snake dedicates himself to the eradication of Metal Gear with Otacon, and together the two of them form the NGO Philanthropy. At the end of Metal Gear 2, Snake denies Big Boss's prediction that he's destined to live out his life on the battlefield and firmly tells Big Boss that he's not like him. He loves life. Twice he fights against Big Boss's prediction as he tries to retire away from the battlefield, though he keeps getting dragged back as his will to live is slowly drained from him, with him even admitting that the only time he feels alive is when he's on the battlefield. At the end of MGS 4, Big Boss tells Snake to live, and not as a snake but as a man. Solid Snake's fandom wiki page says that he goes on to retire with Otacon, which I'd love to believe, but I couldn't find any evidence to back this up. I have no idea where Solid Snake ends up after this, but it's hard to imagine he has that much of a happy ending when none of the other characters do. Except maybe Meryl and Johnny, but Johnny as Bane deserves a happy wife and a happy life. What do you all think? What happens to Solid Snake after MGS 4? How much longer does he survive with the new fox dye virus clearing out the mutated old virus, and does he finally take that much needed retirement?
Let me go back to Twin Lakes.
Why, Snake? Is your life in Alaska all that great?
Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Seriously. You know, like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Have a great day, and I will catch you all next Friday when I have my next video come out.